Hi everyone, good afternoon. We're going to do this presentation in English, but if there's any questions in Spanish, you can definitely let us know. Both Pepe and I are bilingual. Pepe and I are both employers of the Helium Network, and today we're going to show you how you can be your own telco today in the Helium Network. And to do that, the first thing that we're going to do is talk about our progress so far here in Mexico. This is a project that is starting to get a lot of traction here, and we want to invite the community to take part in this. We're also going to talk about why should anybody take part in this project as a deployer. Why should you join? Then Pepe is going to show you how you can deploy this physical infrastructure that are the Helium mobile hotspots. And then finally, I'm going to take us down the route of thinking about the future. How do we build a network that lasts not just a few months, but a few years, 5, 7 years, and can handle the growing demand for connectivity? But before all that, introductions. My name is Jose Torres. I am the co-founder of Longfire Solutions. And as a way of summarizing my journey all the way up to this point, I'm going to share with you guys 3 mind-blowing moments that I've had in the past 8 to 9 years. The first one was Bitcoin in 2017. Completely blew my mind to learn and to experience that through technology, a decentralized community can come together from all parts of the world, all walks of life, all different cultures, and build one of the strongest monetary systems that we have today, backed by energy, by a physical infrastructure that is the Bitcoin mining industry. Then, in 2020, I had a second mind-blowing moment when I learned about a cryptocurrency project called Helium, and without knowing it, Helium in 2019, 2020 had given birth to what we know today as DePIN projects, or decentralized physical infrastructure network, which is one of the biggest crypto sectors today. And then recently I've had another mind-blowing moment, but I'm going to save this one for the end of the presentation.
Okay, so my origins, I started mining helium in Puerto Rico because I had nothing to do and I wanted to mine something. So I started with Laura, and I started since 2021, then I moved to CBRS. I cover also Juan, Puerto Rico with CBRS. And then I saw this opportunity to cover now Mexico with Wi-Fi 5G, and now I came over here. I started 50 days ago, counting today. I have deployed 62 antennas. As you can see, that's in a business. It's going to show the antennas at the end. So I'm in touch, I'm in very close touch with like business owners. Sometimes I onboard them to receive the rewards in HUT. It was mobile, but now I'm going to teach them how to receive them in HUT. So I'm not only onboarding people to make money or something like that, but I'm teaching them like, okay, you move the HUT, let's say Mexi, then from Mexi you change it to USDT, and then USDT to Bitso to your bank account. So I'm like onboarding people from zero to changing crypto to their bank accounts. And that's like all the spots that I've done in the past 50 days.
Alrighty, and then Longfire Solutions has focused on the Oaxaca market, specifically on the historic center. I'm going to show you 3 snapshots of the historic center of Oaxaca. This first one was in January of 2024. The light pink outlines that you see on this map are the areas that Helium and Telefonica incentivized us to deploy at. These are the target areas that we as deployers want to go deploy at because they're the ones that are going to give us more rewards. And so at the beginning, we didn't have any business connections or anything. We started building a community, and surely we started deploying more and more antennas in more businesses. This is about mid-year, and then this final shot is December of 2024. In 1 year, we made partnerships with 90 local businesses in the historic center of Oaxaca, deployed over 230 hotspots that you're going to see in just a second. And out of these 90 local businesses, we improved the internet service for 34 of them by taking dedicated fiber lines to their businesses. Now, why did any of these businesses partake on this partnership? There's obviously incentives, And what I want to show are the two main ones. First, improve connectivity. Just by improving the connectivity of your building, your business, or your community, you are bringing a host of benefits. Improve customer experience. How many of us have been in a restaurant, in a concert, in a show? You can't send a video, you can't upload that WhatsApp voice note or video. And so improving the connectivity has inherent benefits for your business and your community. You can also enhance the security and safety. For example, in emergency response events, if you don't have connectivity, then the emergency response people are going to have a hard time reaching out or reaching in. And finally, to promote community uplift, there is a direct correlation between improved connectivity and community uplift. The more access to information people have, the better educated decisions they can make. And so the next one is you should deploy, because this is a really good scenario. And one of the things that I admire most about the Helium network is that they really focus on aligning the incentives. That is, how can we make an ecosystem that if I provide good connectivity, we all win, right? I earn more. If Pep deploys a good hotspot, he's going to earn more. But not only that, he's earning more because he's providing better connectivity. So this is a utility-driven project. No fluff, utility. And so we try to make it, the incentives are what move the network. And that's one of the other reasons that we think that people should really deploy. It benefits the business, it benefits the community, it benefits the employee. Now, who should deploy? Who am I talking about here? Who am I inviting? So first of all, if you're a business owner, if you have a coffee shop, or if you have a laundry room, or if you have a library, whatever it is, where there's like foot traffic coming and going and staying at your business, you're going to benefit from this because, again, it improves connectivity and also passive revenue. If you happen to have a portfolio of properties, if you're in the real estate market, if you're in the commercial real estate, industrial real estate, or residential real estate, and you have properties, the antennas are not floating up in the sky. They need a property to sit on. And so anybody that has access to rooftops that have a good field of view, where people pass by, where people congregate, those are all good deploying opportunities. But I don't have a portfolio of properties, and I don't have a brick and mortar business. Can I still join? Yeah, if you know someone, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, the friend of a friend that has a coffee shop, contact them, tell them about it, tell them about Helium, and expand the network for a win-win.
So now I'm gonna teach you like the best tips on how to deploy. I made like really bad mistakes when I was starting. So if you can go on the next one. So this is me trying to. There was like a 100x. I was supposed to make more money. That's not how you do it. So what you have to do maximum is 3. As you can see, like something. I couldn't brought one because I've been like installing every day so many that I forgot that I had to bring one and install over. I'm going to show you these. So this is how you have to. If you have like an installation that you can do 3, you have to do it like this, or 360, and also you have to point them if it's high, down, or 2, or there's high foot traffic area. Sometimes you only can do 2, just left and right. Just don't try to overdo it because that was a costly mistake. And then with that one, it's a little bit high, but I'm aiming for the events that restaurant is going to have. Sorry. I'm aiming for the events. They have like DJ events every week, so that one is going to be a lot of that offering. And yeah, of course now I'm sometimes doing only 2 antennas in each installation. And you can see some of the videos. That's 2 antennas. That's 3. It just depends where I'm deploying. And always aim for high foot traffic areas. And also, Monster gives you a perimeter where you can install it. So if it's outside and you try to turn it on, it's not going to make anything. You have to do it inside the perimeter. And if you do it inside, it's still good. That's how you want to do it. And aim it at the high foot traffic area.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about the network of the future. And in my view, ecosystems like Helium are going to be the networks of the future because they're more efficient, they can bring connectivity to more people in more places at a more affordable rate. And so when we think about, as deployers, when we think about deploying, we want to have the future in mind. So we're going to talk about how we can build thinking sustainably, thinking about the future. Now, this is a reward-driven network. Helium wants us, the deployers, to meet a minimum threshold because at the end of the day, we're transferring data. That's the utility that we're bringing to the community. If you make a call, if you want to look something online, that is the actual utility that we're bringing, and we want to make sure that we meet at least some thresholds. So here in this image, we're going to see the performance of one of our hotspots. On the first column, you see the download speeds. Right now it's at 141 megabytes per second. The second column is the upload speed, 15, and finally latency is at 2 milliseconds. Well, Helium says, if you're below 100 megabytes per second, you're not going to earn full rewards. You're going to earn maybe 0.75. And if any of those metrics fall below the thresholds, then you're going to make less of the rewards. So this is at the bare minimum, you as a deployer need to have into account, you need to consider what is your setup, and is your setup going to be limiting any of these three factors. And I say minimum requirements there because there's also other important considerations like, okay, whenever Movistar brings on 2 million users to your area where you have 3 hotspots, how many people are going to be connected to those antennas? Can your antennas handle it? And not only the antennas, but what is your peak network capacity? Is Telmex going to like that you're onboarding hundreds of unique MAC addresses on their network, on their line? And so those are the things that we're going to talk in the next slides to make sure that we build with the future in mind, and so we don't have to go back to that store, talk to the owner again and tell them, hey, I need to change the cable because I used a Cat 5 and now I need a Cat 6, right? And so for this part of the presentation, we're going to go below the roof line. So Pepe showed us some really good videos of what the antenna looks on the roof. What is below the roof line? So again, first we have the Helium Mobile hotspots, which, by the way, they're about this big. They're super small. So when you approach the store owners, when you approach those business owners and you tell them, I'm going to put an antenna on your roof, they're probably going to be like, no, that's huge, ugly antenna. No, it's a very small form antenna. But what gives those antennas connectivity? Well, typically, if you do two or more antennas, you're going to need a switch of some sort. Right? So here we have a power over Ethernet switch that delivers both connectivity and power to the antennas. But the switch that itself does not provide the data. Where does the data come from? Well, the data is going to come from maybe your internet service provider point. Everybody has this at the point for businesses, Telmex, and installs them. But where does that internet come from? And what I'm trying to get at is that at the end of the day, we have something that's called the backhaul, or this is the source of the data. And that's what we need to keep in mind when we're building to make sure that there is not a bottleneck at that point. But before we go on to talk a little bit about the backhaul, I'm going to give some basic recommendations. And Pepe, feel free to jump in if you have any anecdotes of things that have happened to you while deploying. The first one is data cables, right? So the blue cables here are the data cables. They're Ethernet cables, and they're categorized by numbers: 3, 4, 5, 6. We recommend using 6, Cat 6 or above.
Minimum
6, right? Why? Because they're going to be able to handle up to what? A gigabyte, 1,000?
1 gigabyte per second.
But you also need to consider the length of the cables. So let's say we want to deploy a 10-story building. The ISP is in the bottom.
Yeah. I think the maximum is like 100 meters.
100 meters. So if your ISP modem is sitting 100 meters or more away from your antennas, guess what? You're gonna start degrading the quality of that data transfer. So keep in mind the length of those cables. Another thing that I came across was power management. So if you have, how much power are these antennas going to consume? If you have one, if you have two, if you have three, if you have a big building and you're putting three, or two on each corner, now you gotta think a little bit about, okay, how much power can my PoE switch handle so that these antennas can operate at their peak during the peak data demand times. And then finally, power source. Of course, this doesn't function magically. We need an outlet, we need some power, and it needs to be continuous. I'm going to tell you an anecdote we had in Oaxaca. One of our antennas in a store kept going off every night.
Turn off the switches.
What's going on? What's going on here? Right, the antenna's good, it works perfectly from like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., then it dies. We contact the store owner. Pues yo apago los breakers, güey. Cuando me voy, I turn off the breakers. I close shop and I turn off the electricity. So if I was making a call at 7 p.m. and he turns off the antennas, my call drops. And I'm going to complain to movie star. Not good. So what we did, we deployed an independent power source, independent of the switches, so that this didn't happen. So we need continuous power source. Pepe, do you have any other anecdotes?
Yeah, exactly like that. I was just telling you, Mercadito, and like they're not supposed to have the switches on at night. So what I did is I bought 3 batteries, like the ones from like the ones in the car. I bought like 3 small ones. Then I just connected that they're like always charging, and then I got an inverter, and then the inverter gives you electricity at night to the antennas. I'm still experimenting with that one. That was like one of the last problems that I had. Maybe we should have to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything from solar panels to battery power, like we need to get creative to satisfy the requirements and the uptime of the network. Now, there's another limitation here, which is the actual ISP modem. You know, if you're talking to a business owner that sells Preritas or like stuff like a little small market, they're not going to care about having a 100 megabyte connection. They're probably going to have the cheapest one, maybe from 5, 6, 7 years ago. And what if the router can't handle the capacity that you need to push through these antennas? So all of these are basic considerations. The more experience you get, then the more little things you can optimize. But at the minimum, these are good to have in mind so that you can maximize your earning potential. Okay, now, what is the point of all of this? Again, the point of all of this is to provide improved connectivity to more people in more places at a more affordable rate. I'm sure that Helium is fully aligned with that goal. And our partners are the carriers. Telefonica. Telefonica already has customers that they have a commitment to. Telefonica charges you because they tell you, we're going to provide an uptime for you, we're going to guarantee that we're going to give you a good quality of service. So what is a quality of service requirement? Right? This is in the contract that you sign with Telefonica, you're saying, okay, I'm going to pay you 700 Mexican pesos a month, and in return, you're going to give me network availability. And not just 80% of network availability, or 85 or 90, 99.9% network availability is what Telefonica aims to provide their customers, because they don't want you switching to Tigo or to Claro or to AT&T, right? Calls set up success rate. If I call my mom, I need that call to go through. So that's another metric of data quality or quality of service. Data throughput is the speed, and then latency is like if you're doing Call of Duty on your phone, you want those bullets to hit your target, and you want to put latency from your internet connection, right? So the question for Pepe and I is, okay, how do we meet those requirements? How can we give Telefonica the guarantee, and how can we prove ourselves as a deployment community and tell the Telefonica, you can rest assured that when your clients log on to our antennas or transfer their data to our antennas, everything's going to go equally or better than when they're not on our antennas, when they're on yours. Right? So reliable backhaul is probably one of the most important things that we need to keep in mind. So going back to that store example, if I deploy 3 antennas and I talk to the store owner and I tell him, hey, can I use your internet line? And he said, oh yeah, I don't know, yeah, sure, use my internet, whatever. And I use his internet line or her internet line, and then 2 months down the road, 500 people, movie store customers are using it, Then he calls me, hey, my point of service is not, my point of sale is not working, my cameras are not working. Well, because guess what? We are now flooding his internet service. It doesn't have the capacity to serve his functions and the antenna functions. So our recommendation from Pepe and I is only in very specific cases should you use the host's internet line. They need it for their things. You should install your own internet line from who? Maybe from a local internet service provider. Who have you used, Pepe?
I've used both. Sometimes they don't even have a modem. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to install my modem with my name. And right now it's going to be
so like a new line.
Yeah, like a new line at my name. So they're like, oh, we have Wi-Fi now. Thank you. Sometimes I offer that and then I connect my antennas. Sometimes I use the Wi-Fi from the people. Maybe I can save money right now, but then when the data starts flowing in, I'll just get another one just to like keep costs down. But yeah, that's a good one. Always maybe have your own hotspot, because if the storage has the computers connected to the system and the data starts flowing, it's gonna crash the system. Like it's not gonna be able to use the Wi-Fi.
If it's a typical, right, then you would need to have like a dedicated fiber line to handle everything. And so when we think about the sustainability and the future of this network in mind, I really like to think about scalability. So, Pepe, when you call that internet service provider and you ask them, hey, can you put a new line under my name? One of the questions that I ask them is, okay, how much can you give me? 350 megabytes per second, up and down? Yeah. But then I ask them, can you double that? You know, do you have the capacity to double that?
If there's like fiber optic available, yeah. So in the future you can upgrade it just with one call.
Just with one call, exactly. So you don't have to call them, you don't have to run new cables, you don't have to call the ISP again. You just say, hey, yes, I know it's going to cost me probably twice as much, but I need twice the capacity because now more people are using the Helium network. More movie star customers are using the Helium network. We need more capacity. So think about scalability and also pay close attention to the master service agreements. Because when you start talking to Telmex, they might have some fine line that says, you cannot resell this internet that we're providing. You know, like, hey, I'm a small business, can you give me internet? Yes. I'm a small business, can you give me internet so I can give it to hundreds of people? It starts to get into a gray area. One of the things that I enjoy the most about this project is building local partnerships. So in Oaxaca, as soon as we got to about 80 locations and we had 80 independent Telmex lines, we said, whoa, if Telefonica comes through and then Telmex has an issue with our use of their system, what if they cut us? We're going to be out of luck. Telefonica's customers are going to be out of luck. So we started researching local partnerships. What does this mean? It means who in the local area can provide a direct fiber line, a fiber network, to our Oaxaca customers, to our Oaxaca store owners. And we found a local business that now has deployed his fiber to more than 30 locations. So wherever he deploys his fiber, we pay him a little bit less than what we pay Telmex, right? It has to be a win-win. And then we say bye-bye to Telmex. And so we're going from paying a global multinational company to helping the local business owner that needs to expand his network.
Having no future problems with Telmex.
Huh?
Having no future problems with Telmex.
Exactly, no future problems with Telmex. Now we're helping grow the local business in Oaxaca, and he now has us as customers, because here's the issue with fiber. It needs a capital investment. Okay, I'm gonna put down 100,000 Mexican pesos for fiber, but who's gonna pay that back to me? Now I have to go door to door, say, hey, can you jump on my fiber? He doesn't have to do it with that. We told him, we guarantee you 40 sites for 6 months. He's like, okay, if that's the case, then I'm gonna invest, deploy the fiber. Now he has us as customers, at least 40. We're gonna do 90, we're gonna do 100 in Oaxaca. In Nuevo León, in León, there should be somebody that can help you get fiber. Right, so we have to think globally into the future, but also think how we can help our local business owners, our local communities. Anything else, Pepe? And so I'm gonna share with you guys that fifth mind-blowing moment, and it stems from having a combination of factors today in 2025, right now in Mexico, which completely blows my mind. We have the technology. We have Solana, right? We can make payments to anyone, anywhere. We can have physical ownership on the blockchain via NFTs. We can make smart contracts. You don't need a bank account. You don't need American Express or Visa to do payments. We have the community that we can both uplift and leverage. So the small businesses, we have people like Pepe, companies like Long Term Solutions, the Solana community, the Helium community, that are eager to innovate with battery, with whatever it takes to bring that connectivity, right? We have the incentive. Why? Because everybody, if you don't have signal, you want signal. If you have signal, you want better signal, right? So there's already a demand, a market demand. We don't have to create the demand. There's already the incentives. And finally, we have a carrier's interest. So we're not only talking about the crypto community anymore, we're talking about the third largest cell phone provider in Mexico, Movistar Telefónica. And when you combine all of these things, for the first time, today, you can be your own telco. And that to me is just absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you very much, guys.